Hello everybody. Now today I wanted to come back to the lot where I actually first started my filming of YouTube videos. You can see it's still abandoned. There's still that X Factor something over there with one car. Amazon is still occupying that side of the lot, but I wanted to spend some time kind of exploring and talking about how does it actually feel to drive this Lincoln Town Car, or any Lincoln Town Car for that matter, in the winter. And believe it or not, it was kind of difficult for me to find a place that's unplowed, because you know, I live in Illinois, in the northern part of it, and as much as I want to badmouth our state for being bankrupt or for being corrupt or for not doing its job, you know, I really can't, because it snowed and rained and froze, and this is the ground that it kind of is. You can see I am not really falling through the ice, so there's not a lot of it, but it's kind of frozen. But even on a day like this, even though it rained and snowed overnight, you can kind of see there in the distance, cars are going just fine. So, oh, the streets are plowed. So I wanted to go out and drive in the snow, but I couldn't. So how can I badmouth my state for not doing a good job, at least in that regard? And even this lot, as you can kind of see up there where the Amazon stuff is, it's plowed. So the only part in the vicinity where I live I could find is this abandoned mall, strip mall, that's falling apart over there. But yeah, I did find a small section where it's not plowed, so it's kind of a weird, you know, mix of ice, snow, and a town car. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm hoping to dispel the myth that these cars are death traps, that, you know, they're slip and slides all over. And I purposefully did not wash my car before the shoot, because I obviously, oh, look at this, this is nice. See? So it's kind of, it's a soupy, icy, snowy condition. So I'm really hoping that this car will do well. And if not, then at least we'll see it on camera. So yeah, so I specifically did not want to wash my car. I know it's dirty, but this is how my car looks. It's a daily driver. All the stuff that's even from the summer, you know, that's all still here. All the dirt you can see right here, that's still here. Oh, look at that. That's not good. Obviously my rims, I mean, they are dirty and they are peeling still, but once again, this is kind of what happens when you don't have a garage and, you know, you live in Illinois. So all right, so I'll have to figure out kind of how to film this, but yeah, it'll be interesting. But I'm actually seeing also it's already melting here, so for those of you, you know, in Arizona or Nevada, you know, this is, or a lot of other places, this is kind of the life that this car lives. Okay, all right, let's see how we can do this. Let's try to just drive without the horizon leveling on. All right, let's see, how bad is it? Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's definitely something. Wow, it's jumping all over the place because it's all frozen. Okay, wow, oh God. What did I get myself into in my poor car? All right, oh yeah, the traction control is kicking in. So yeah, it can't be good for my tires, but this is way too much fun. And it's interesting how there's a bunch of SUVs right there, so they're looking at me like I'm nuts, which technically I am. All right, oh God. Oh yeah. Yeah, so this is my commute. This, when I do have to commute, when I do have to commute, you know, to the city, it's about 30 miles. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I deal with for about an hour and a half each way. You know, sometimes a little less than stellar commute. All right, let's see, how does this look in a different light? All right, so that was just me being dumb. And I know I didn't do any sort of high-speed maneuvering or anything like that. What I did is what most of the time when I drive, that's what I would do. Now, at some point, I turned off the traction control just to have some fun. And unfortunately, this ground is not ideal. There's a lot of really hard frozen ice here, so the car is bouncing like crazy. You probably saw that suspension working. So, but hey, you know, the bottom line is, this car, all the rear-wheel drive cars, this one, you know, this fine, you know, the Crown Vics, Grand Marquis, they are fine. If you know what to expect, if you know that the front-wheel drive car will start, you know, getting away from you on the front, and, you know how to handle it, once you kind of drive a rear-wheel drive car for, I don't know, an hour or so, or at least in your first time you start sliding, yeah, the rear slides, which in this particular, you know, case, you know, you have traction control. Now, you can choose to turn it off, which is exactly what I did, but it's nothing major. If you know the rear of your car is going to start sliding, you just have to slow down, get your foot off the brake, obviously point the car and steer it where you want it to go, and it'll correct itself. Obviously, having good brakes and good tires are a must. So far, you know, I didn't burn any rubber here, obviously. I'm not trying to do, you know, too much stuff. Obviously, like, you know, like you can see, like I showed this to you, this is the kind of ground this is, and especially on these bumps, man, the suspension is really working. I actually heard, as I was doing this, the air compressor for the suspension kicked in, so I don't, maybe I bounced it a bit too much here, but, you know, nothing that it can't handle, at least for the time being. Yeah, so the bottom line is, here's the moral of this story, if there is a moral. These cars behave themselves just fine in the snow, in the ice. It's obviously, you know, like any car, you need to be careful, you need to slow down. But, you know, I love when people start getting into some of these vehicles. As you can see, this is what people drive these days. But then they start driving, you know, like laws of physics and laws of weather and slippery conditions, you know, don't apply to them anymore. This is, I think, when people get in trouble. And in this case, I don't care if you have an all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, I don't care if you have a giant truck or an SUV or a Wrangler or anything like that, you will get into trouble. So, yeah, this is kind of my take on the whole thing. So most of the stuff will actually start melting away pretty soon, and I think when I start driving, some of the stuff will come off. But the bottom line is, if you are concerned that these cars don't behave well in the snow or ice, that is not a problem. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this little segment. We'll see you next time.